Hello everyone, before we begin today I really want to mention that we have a subreddit now! And it's emptier than my soul! So please go in, post some stories, tell me what voices do you want me to use and I'll put them in the videos. Now that I got that out of the way, let's begin today's insanity. Teacher tells students she's broke, so they raise money for her. Then she goes on a European vacation. So for context, I teach high school in a very low income area. Many of the students are on free or reduced lunch, meaning they live in poverty. Meanwhile, I know that teachers are known for being underpaid, and that's generally true, but I've gotta say that our district pays pretty well. Teachers here don't tend to need to work 2 jobs, for example. We get the best pay in the country, probably meant to be an incentive to get teachers to teach this population. I work with a teacher, let's call her Sarah, who I guess doesn't manage her money well because she frequently complains on being broke. Earlier this year, her car broke down, and she told me and several other staff members that she couldn't afford to repair it. A few days later, I got an invitation to contribute to her GoFundMe to help her fix her car. When I looked at the page, I saw it had been created by her students. This made me feel a bit sick, complaining to students we know live below the poverty line about money when we get paid well above the poverty level doesn't seem right to me, especially since it reached the point that the students felt compelled to take action to help her themselves. However, I largely forgot about the incident until this summer, when Sarah started posting lots of pictures of her in the Alps on social media. She posted about how she had decided to treat herself to a whirlwind tour of Europe. I found this pretty shocking considering that her students had donated to her when she said she couldn't afford to fix her car. The best thing though was that a day or two before she was due to return, she posted asking for a ride home from the airport. We live around 100 miles from the airport. She said she spent all her money in Europe and so she didn't have enough to pay for a rental or an Uber home. Shockingly enough, no one offered a thing. This story is entitled, "Oh, that's all you can give me? Really?" This happened months ago, but holy hell, it's my go-to example for any CB. So I work at a pet store. Most of my customers are nice, and the ones that give me grief are the boomer types who have no idea how to treat someone like a human being. There was this one particular customer who came in with about $50 worth of wet cat food and a small bag of dry food. The fancy feast, lower end stuff. At first, she was kind of nice, but then she inquired about her points balance. We have a point system that grants discounts. And after, she handed me a coupon. I scan her coupon through and then use her points to get a small sum off of her order. She then mentions that she was unemployed and her husband, who is sitting next to her, struggles with the paycheck to paycheck way of living since rent costs and food and etc. is obviously part of their lives. And I felt sympathetic, especially since a pet was involved, and I understand what it's like to be unemployed and struggling with money. I decided to give them $20 off of their order, the possible maximum I can take off of their order without the manager override. I mentioned this to them, and what this freaking pinecone-headed woman did was blink, look at the screen, and then scoffed and said, that's all you can give me? Really? No thank you or nothing. No display of gratitude, nothing. There was nothing in the company policy that said I had to do something like that. If anything, they advise us not to give out discounts or anything like that. For all I know, I could have been doing something risky in terms of my own employment status. But no, an attempt to be kind and for this woman to be completely unappreciative. I even explained that, on my end, I can't give more than that as a discount. She gave her husband a look and was like, okay, you're really sure you can't do more? And because there was a lineup and the managers were busy, I more or less told her that no, this was all I could do for her. I told her to have a good day after she paid and she said nothing. I think I heard her mumble to her husband about how I was being disrespectful to her. I saw her once after, about a month later. I remember her face and she gave me the same sob story, but I didn't do anything. I didn't even talk to her. I didn't use her stupid points. And I didn't give her a $20 discount. You can be as poor as you want, but if you're nasty to someone trying to help out and you have the audacity to suggest that you want more without being grateful for what was given to you, then go to heck. This next one is entitled Trying to Find a Housemate. I'm trying to find a housemate for a 2-bedroom deluxe penthouse apartment in the city. Granted, it costs a fair bit compared to other options, but it's close to everything in a major global city. Has 24 hours concierge, gym, pool, spa, sauna, and a breathtaking view. The number of people who message me with lowball offers is incredible. Like, I'm talking less than half of the asking price, which is reasonable for what you get. The most frustrating thing is they usually come back with, "Oh, you can get a bedroom for half that on the same street." Literally the dumbest logic ever, as if every room and every apartment is the same if they're in a similar area. And this usually after they tell me that they want to inspect ASAP because they're desperate to move out of home or closer to the city. Pathetic. This one is entitled Multi-million-pound company wants us to work for experience. I'm a photographer, videographer student, and in class one day we had a speaker come in. This guy works for a huge sports retailer working with companies like Adidas and Nike. The speech was on how photography, videography, and editing is useful in the fashion business for the advertisement side. He then goes on to say how we could be part of their team and work for them. The role was you could be a sports photographer or videographer for them, photographing and videoing athletes working in their gear, or a video editor. The way he described it, it wasn't an internship as such, it was just 1 or 2 jobs without any pay. The benefit was to gain skill for the workplace and gain exposure. I asked if there was any pay. I'm a broke college student, I don't really have time for free work. And the teachers got angry.
This man is giving you an opportunity to explore the workplace. It's experience, young man.
The man agreed with this too, saying, "I shouldn't be asking for money." I understand that less experienced artists need to build their portfolio, but they wanted us to record their expensive clothing and can't be asked to pay even minimum wage? What's even worse was our name wouldn't even be on the website. We wouldn't even get exposure. Oh, and a lot of people are pointing out that students need a portfolio. Most of us have already done unpaid work already and are on our last year here. We have decent portfolios. The CB knew this as he pointed out to us how we had experience. Most of us also need money as we have bills to pay. This job would have cost us as we'd have to pay for travel. It was 2 hours away and we don't have cars. And we also had to bring our own equipment. It was pretty clear we'd get little to no benefit out of this, and pretty insulting to us who have worked hard in this industry and already have experience. The next story is called Trying to Help a Thief. While I attended college, I worked in loss prevention at a thrift store. Think Monica's brother on Friends. The job was mind-numbingly boring. Basically student plays for 12 hours a day saying hello to people. I have many interesting stories about the shenanigans some people would pull, but this one stands out the most as a choosing beggar. We were not allowed to physically touch or stop thieves due to liability issues. Just stand there and look pretty. All black clothing, creased pants, collared black shirt, black dress shoes. However, one day we had a plainclothes secret shopper who was allowed through the state to detain, think security officer rather than security guard. And he asked for my assistance in stopping 2 thieves. I figured, what the heck? I'm bored and this job isn't my career, so I help him. Ended up chasing one of them down while he grabbed the other one, even drove through her car window to grab the bag full of stolen merchandise. She threatened me with a mace, the whole 9 yards. We get them both into a secured office so the secret shopper could issue them a fine and trespass them from the property. This takes about 15 minutes. All this while one of the thieves is going on about how nervous she is, her heart is beating so fast, basically attempting to make us feel bad for her. She then asks if anyone has a cigarette, so I pulled one out of my pack and handed it to her. No thank you or anything, she just looked at it in disgust and said, "Ah, menthol? Really? You can't go get me a regular?" I was stunned for a moment and told her she could give it back to me. She didn't. Like, I literally just caught you stealing and you want me to go get you something? What's wrong with you? Coming up, Choosing Beggar wants my mom to do all the work so she can sell her house. Just before I begin, I want to say I have been watching r/'s content a lot and he is a great YouTuber. If you haven't seen him, go check him out. Also, you can check me out too, please. My mom is a realtor and CB is her next door neighbor. CB wanted to sell her house, but it's a bit of an entitled person. So CB tells my mom that she wants to sell the house. My mom agrees to help and is happy that she has a new listing. 1 month later, I walk into my mom's room to see her working her butt off. I ask what she's doing and if she is okay. She says she is working to find a roofer to roof the house. I think nothing much of it and go back to my room. A little story, CB has 3 kids younger than me that constantly knock on our door every hour and ask, "Do you wanna play?" But imagine a high-pitched annoying voice. You might say, "But Arthur, it can't be that bad." Oh, it's bad. Back to the story. The roofing is done about a month later. A few weeks later, I walk over to CB's house to tell my mom something, thinking that she's talking with CB. But no, my mom is at CB's house painting the walls with her assistant while CB watches. My mom has been at her house working for 2 hours painting the walls. At this time, my mom was recovering from breast cancer. CB told her to help paint the walls, and my mom paid for the roofing while CB pitched in a few $100s. Today my mom broke down crying in her room because CB wanted her another task that requires lots of money, and when my mom said, "You made me paint when I was recovering from breast cancer," CB replied, "Oh, stop trying to make me feel guilty." I really hope my mom feels better, but there's not much more I can say because nothing is happening right now. Have a good 4th of July! Oh, this Choosing Beggar was really disgusting. I mean, I hope I never meet people like this in real life. This one is called "Free Design Just Isn't Good Enough." Mobile, sorry. So C is the charity and M is me. So a little backstory, I used to dabble in web design and logos. As practice, I used to do mock-ups for free. But I had strict rules, no deadlines, I work when I can, and please credit, in case I start doing it for cash. So I get an email from a small upstarting charity. They asked for logo design. I told them I can try and have it done soon. It was during exam season, so I was busy. They said for it to be done by Tuesday. That's 3 days from the initial day of contact. I was a little ticked off, but it was a children's charity, so I felt it was the least I could do. Tuesday rolls around and I get this message. "Hey, is the logo done?" Yeah, it's almost done. "Hurry up, we need it ASAP." Okay. I email it at 11:45. They respond saying that it's just okay. It's free work, what do you expect, Picasso? At the bottom of this email, it says, "Our exposure fee is $350. We accept PayPal and Visa." Yo, what the heck? I ain't paying you. "Oh, but think about the tons of possible clients you can get and think about the kids." So you ask for a free logo, which was then plastered all over their website, and expect me to pay you? I then blocked them and left it all behind me. I'm still angry till this day. Out of respect, I won't name them, but they're still using my logo. Coming up, but we're only borrowing it. As a graphic designer, I get CBs all the time. This one stands out for their creativity, so I'm sharing the story here. So this CB approached me asking for a logo for their NGO. At first, all was as usual. They describe the idea, I do my research and offer a few rough sketches and a quote. And here is where our dear CB got really creative.
Oh, you're charging, but we're only going to borrow your design and use it on our website and promotional materials. This is ridiculous.
If this happened a year ago, I would have tried explaining my rates. Now I just decided to go to r/malicious compliance. I replied, understood, then let's make a borrowing agreement. But you do realize you'll have to take it all down when the term expires, right? All of those updates and revisions will likely cost you more. They never replied again! Next one is called, can you spare $5, $10, or $20? I was working a low-paying job and was low on funds. Luckily, we get like $30, $40 in tips every 2 weeks, and that week I got around $35. My plan was to go to the cheap grocery store across the street to buy some budget food until my next payday. There was a girl outside panhandling, and it shocked me what she said to me.
Oh, excuse me, miss. I've been out here for over an hour and barely made any money. Can you spare a $5 or $10 or $20 bill?
I couldn't believe it. Most beggars just say, can you spare some change? She was telling you what she wanted. I admire her confidence at least. Next up, a homeless man asks for a tip. I'm on mobile, sorry. Reading through this subreddit reminds me of something that happened years ago, but it always annoys me when it comes back round. B is the boyfriend and H is the homeless man. I was in San Francisco with my boyfriend at the time. I asked aloud what bus we take to get somewhere and he pulled out his phone to look it up. We were pulling it up on Google Maps when a homeless man jumps in our conversation and tells us the bus stop. We thank him and turn to head that way and he interrupted with, "Hey, I work for tips, you know." My boyfriend glared at him and was gonna tell him we didn't need his work, but I stopped him and pulled out my wallet. I always believe the less fortunate should get a chance because they deal with worse. I pull out $2 and the homeless man shakes his head. He gets real close and sees what's in my wallet. I'll take that $5 you got. I pull back as my boyfriend gets in his face. Buddy, no, that's it. Babe, put your wallet away. Hey man, I gave you directions. I deserve money for it. We didn't need your directions. I had it on my phone by the time you came up. My girlfriend is being so kind by giving you any money for getting in our face, but you don't get to do this. Man, you weren't even gonna use that $5. And on what? I could use it way better. I'm anxious at this point. People are looking as they walk past. I can feel myself start to get embarrassed, so I grab my boyfriend and ask him to let it go. My boyfriend can see I'm upset, so he grumbles and grabs a bill out of his wallet. He crumples it up and hands it to the man with a, "Here's your $5. We were walking away when from behind you can hear, "This is a 1, you cheap ass!" We sped to the stop and got on the bus that was there. It took us partially to our stop, but we spent the rest of the day trying to laugh it off. My boyfriend was so proud of his stunt. That was pretty good, to be honest. It's pretty good. Thanks everyone for watching. Remember about that subreddit, we need to fill it up so I can use the stories in the videos. It will help a lot. And while you're at it, please comment, like, and subscribe for more of the same videos. And until the next video, cheers.